Good morning, students. Again we are back with the online education, and today we are going to see our lesson number 9 of geography, that is trade. And we have seen offline till yesterday all these things under the lesson. First we have seen the concept of trade. What is trade exactly we have seen. Then we have seen the chain of trade. Manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer and the consumer. After that we have seen barter system, exchange of goods with goods only without currency. Then we have seen visible and invisible trade. Visible trade means the trade in which goods are involved, and invisible trade means the trade in which services are involved. After that we have seen types of trade, that whole structure which we have done already in the notebook. You have drawn that types of trade based on quantity of goods and extent of the region. Till here we have completed offline, and now it's turn to begin online lectures from today onwards. So today we are going to see export and import concept. After that we will see balance of trade. Then international trade organizations which all are involved on international level for trade. Then we will see marketing structure. What is marketing exactly, how it takes place, and what is the importance of marketing for any type of trade. All these things we will see today in deep and detail. So let's begin directly. First concept, that is export and import. Find all your books in your hand and fingers on the line as usual. So let's begin export and import. Export and import are the basic processes of international trade. For any international trade, export and import are the two sides of a coin. Export means the goods or services which we send outside the country, and import means which we take inside the country or which we buy from other countries in the world. So that is export and import, basic processes of international trade. When a country buys those goods and services which are scarce means limited. Fine. When a country buys those goods and services which are scarce in their own country from another country, it is known as import. For example, we have scarce means shortage of some product. Suppose I want some sugar which is not available in my country. So I should purchase from another country. So whatever production is limited in my country, the country purchases from another country where there is extra production, excess production. So whichever production we purchase from other countries, purchasing from other countries is the concept import. Importing means bringing inside our country from another countries. Okay. Now export, vice versa, exactly opposite of that. If we are producing something in excess, extra, we should sell that product to other countries where there is scarce, means shortage, limited. So when we purchase from outer countries, we import, and when we sell to other countries, we export. So when a country produces excess goods or services than required, than the limit, it sells these goods to countries which have a demand for it. So here, do remember, demand and supply are the two sides of trade. Demand and supply. We have seen this earlier. We have seen on the first page only of the lesson. Demand and supply. So wherever there is demand, supply is needed of the particular production. So if a country has demand but less production, it will purchase from other countries where there is extra production, and that becomes import. Importing means bringing inside, and export means sending outside. Okay. Now the next concept balance? Balance means balancing. Trade, how can be balanced? We'll see here. The difference between the import and export values of a country in a specific period is called balance of trade. What is meant by balance of trade? See here, very important definition. Mark there, highlight in your book. The difference between import means bringing inside, and export values of a country, of a particular country, and in a specific period. It's not lifelong. In a specific period, the difference between import and export values of a particular country within given specific period is called balance of trade. You learn this definition, very important. Following are the types of balance of trade. There are three types of balance of trade. First is favorable balance of trade, second is unfavorable balance of trade, and third is balanced balance of trade. You have drawn in your book these diagrams, structures, and you have observed those, studied well. Balanced balance of trade. We'll see here. First one is unfavorable, given in the book. This diagram, particular, check out. When the value of imports, now see here, imported thing, this is import, this is export. Fine. When the value of imports bringing from outer countries, another countries, purchasing from another countries is more than the value of export, this type of trade is called as unfavorable type of trade. It means for any country, importing more production, importing more products is harmful for the economy of the country. Because whenever we import from other countries, we have to pay high charges, high cost for those products. And economy collapses if there is unfavorable balance of trade. When can we say it is unfavorable balance of trade? When imports are more than exports. If I am purchasing more than my own budget, it will be unfavorable for me, common sense. Same way for any country. If imports, purchasing from other countries is more than selling to other countries, that is called unfavorable balance of trade. Second is favorable balance of trade. Exactly opposite of this, we can say when exports are more. See here, exports are more than imports. If I sell more than I purchase, if I sell something more than whichever I purchase, I will be in profit. That is common sense. So whenever a country exports more than imports, that will be called as favorable balance of trade. Economy is in favor of the country. Economy is good. Third one is balanced balance of trade. Here, balanced balance means both are on equal level. Import and export both are on equal level, and there creates a balance of trade, and that is balanced balance of trade. So these three diagrams here, you can see import is more than exports, unfavorable. Export is more than import, favorable. Both are equal, balanced. You learn these three types of trade. Fine. So now we have seen export and import concept and balance of trade concept. Third is international trade organizations. On this page, a table is shown. Okay, study the table carefully, everyone. Read out carefully. You have to draw this table in your notebook. As it is shown, same way you have to draw. We are going to study the table here in deep. Fine, don't worry. So, international trade organizations. What is mean of international trade organizations? Whenever a country imports or exports something, there are many problems faced by the countries, and to solve these problems, it is essential for any country to go to some higher authority, and this work is done by the international trade organizations to solve all the problems. Fine. Carrying out trade at an international level is a more complex process. It's not easy process. It is very complex process because there are many rules and regulations when you import or export from other countries. Fine. There are many rules and regulations, and to follow all those rules and regulations, and after that creating trade becomes a complex process. So, then domestic trade we have seen internal trade within the country. Trade takes place between two or more nations. Fine. Factors like the economy of the country. Now highlight these factors, which are the factors responsible or influence the trade. Factors like the economy of a country. If the economy is good, trade will be good. If economy is down, naturally trade will be down. Then government policies. In every country there are different government policies which the traders have to follow. Fine, they cannot go against the government policies. Then markets. How are the markets available in that particular region? Every trader has to see that. Then laws. There are certain laws. Judicial system is very important for every country. Laws. Then the judicial means legal system. Currency. Currency can create a problem while trading with another country because every country has different currency, and to convert the currency in their own currency becomes a complex process. Then language. Language is also a barrier in trade. If you know English, well, English is global language, so otherwise it becomes a problem. Influence the trade. So which are the factors influencing trade? They are economy of the country, government policies, markets, laws, judicial system, currency, language, etc. Many more are there. The political relations between the two countries also influence the trade. So the list just write there only after language, political relations between the country. If the political relations between two countries are good, the trade is easy one. Otherwise, you know. So sometimes the obstacles in the way of trading affect the mutual relationship adversely. Adversely means badly. Obstacles means problems. If sometimes there are problems in trading and those problems can affect adversely the mutual relationship. Mutual means from both sides. To avoid this, now these are the problems faced by traders on international level, and to avoid this, international economic and trade organizations came up. They came in front to sort out all these problems, to find out the solutions for all these problems. Okay, so what is the role of international trade organizations? To solve the problems which are faced by the traders on international level. To smoothen, what is their another function? To smoothen and justify the process of trade between countries of different economic standing. Some international economic organizations were formed. These organizations work towards the facilitation, means progress and growth of international trade. So all these organizations work towards what is their main aim? Main aim is to progress or to facilitate the growth on international level of what? Trade. The details of a few organizations, here are very few organizations, there are many more organizations involved in this role. We'll see these only. Have been given here in the following table. Now do open this table, mark here stars, 3 stars because this table is highly important for you all. So let's study this table one by one. First column is name of the International Trade Organization. Second, number of member states. You have to learn these numbers. Then headquarters. Where are the headquarters of that particular organization? Next is aims or functions of the organization. So first organization is World Trade Organization, and that is WTO. We'll write here so that you will be clear with the concept. First is World Trade Organization. Okay. How many members are there? Means how many number of member states? They are 164. Fine. What is the logo? Just check out the logo there. That is important. Logo of that WTO. Then where are the headquarters of that? Geneva. Where? Geneva. It's not Geneva or something like that. Geneva, Switzerland. Now the aims, functions of this WTO World Trade Organization. The functions are to provide platform for negotiation. Negotiation means official discussion between two countries in international trade. Second is to handle the differences related to trade. There are many difference of opinions between the countries. To handle them carefully, the function of WTO. Next is monitor, observe, keep an eye on what? The trade policies of member states. How many member states are there? 164. To observe them carefully, to keep an eye on them. Eye on their trade policies. Next is providing technological assistance and training to developing countries. Developing countries, highly essential word. They provide training sessions or assistance and technological help to whom? Developing countries. These four are the functions of WTO, World Trade Organization. 164 member states, headquarters at Geneva, Switzerland, and 4 aims or functions. Learn this. You have to learn this whole table. Please focus on that. Write, read for 2 times, 3 times, 4 times until unless you learn the concept. Okay. Next is European Union, EU. That is called EU. How many members are there? 28 members. Then its headquarters are at Brussels. It is in Belgium. Logo, check out their logo. This right. Next, their functions. Established an integrated market amongst member nations in Europe. Established an integrated market amongst member nations in Europe, inside Europe. It works there only in Europe continent. Free flow of goods, services and capital in Europe. There is free flow. There are no restrictions, no bans on the flow of trade. Custom duties have been cancelled. Custom duties, if you pay, your cost of the price increases due to custom duties. So what they have done? They have cancelled custom duties on the products on exchange of goods within member states. You remember, this facility is given to member states only. And then common euro currency is established. Which currency is established? Euro. For which organization? European Union. Which currency is established? Euro. Fine. This is second. First is WTO, World Trade Organization. Second is EU, European Union, 28 member states, and Brussels are the capitals, headquarters, which is in Belgium. Okay, clear up to here. Next organization is Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, and OPEC. What is it called as? OPEC. OPEC. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. How many member states are there? 13. Logo is like this. Okay. Where are the headquarters? Vienna, that is in Austria. What is the role, function, aims? Controlling the international trade of crude oil. We have seen earlier, crude oil exporting countries, which all are there. So all of them are the members of this OPEC organization. Okay, what is their main function? To control the international trade of crude oil. Next is controlling the rates of crude oil producing production among member states. To control the rates within them. How many member states are there? 13. Everybody should have equal rate of production. Then maintaining consensus in oil export. What is mean by consensus? General agreement. There is a general agreement between the state, means member states, for what? Oil export. A general agreement is done between them, within them, and according to that agreement, they export crude oil. This was OPEC. Third organization is OPEC. OPEC means OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. How many member states? 13. Where are the headquarters? Vienna. Vienna, that is in Austria. Now the next is SAARC. Very important from the point of view of India. SAARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. What is the long form? SAARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. SAARC. Do learn this full form. How many member states are there? 8. Logo this way. Both hands are joined and 8 states are shown over there. Then where are the headquarters? Kathmandu, Nepal. What are their functions? Role. Finding satisfactory solutions to the common problems faced by countries in South Asia. They focus on South Asia. Then increasing social welfare, raising the living standard of people, and increasing regional cooperation among member states. Next is to remove unrest. Unrest means the problems which are nowadays faced between the countries. For example, India, China, India, Pakistan, etc. Whichever are the mutual problems, to remove them in South Asia. These are the 3 major functions of SAARC. SAARC. So next one is fourth one, SAARC. SAARC says SAARC. It means South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. How many member states? 8. Where are the headquarters? Kathmandu, Nepal. Fine. And its functions, 3 major functions. Now after this, 3 more are there. We complete up to here today, and rest of the lesson will complete on Saturday. So, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Asian, that is logo. Check out, just like a lotus or something like that. 10 member states. How many? 10. Where are the headquarters? Jakarta. Where? Jakarta in Indonesia. What are its aims? First one, expanding social and cultural harmony along with economic growth in Southeast Asia. Here also focus is on Southeast Asia. Second one, promoting regional peace. Peace must be maintained all over the world, and all the international organizations focus on the peace and harmony between the countries. Third one is promoting tax favors for trade growth in member states. So these are the 3 major functions of ASEAN. that is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Next one is Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC. There is difference between OPEC and APEC. Do you remember this one? APEC does not mean OPEC. Those two are different organizations. So first we write Asian, that is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Asian. How many member states? 10. Where are the headquarters? Jakarta. That is in Indonesia. Fifth one is, no, this was fifth one and this is sixth one. Sixth one is APEC. What is the full form of that? APEC. Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. How many members? 21. Where are the headquarters? Singapore. Headquarters are at Singapore. Aims: free trade and economic cooperation in Asia Pacific Ocean region. Free trade without restrictions. Second is promoting regional and technical cooperation among members. Fine. And last one organization is BRICS. BRICS. It does not mean that brick which we use for construction. So OPEC and APEC, these two are different. Learn them very carefully. Last organization is BRICS. Seventh one. BRICS. BRICS. What is the full form? Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Okay, these are the 5 countries involved in BRICS. How many members? Obviously 5. Where are the headquarters? Shanghai, China. Okay. Which are the 5 nations? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Okay. These are BRICS. What are their aims now? Very important. Make funds available for growth of economies of members. Secondly, enhancing, promoting mutual economic cooperation and strengthening economic security. So in short, all these 7 organizations and many more, they are not this much only, there are many more organizations working on international level to promote, to enhance trade among the countries. So all over, their aim is to promote economic growth of every country, to create a balance of peace and harmony between the countries. So this was all about trade, international trade organizations. In this part, we have seen 3 points: export and import concept, balance of trade, there are again 3 parts in that, and then international trade organizations. The remaining part of the lesson we'll see next time. Till then, thank you and bye.